Hey everybody, welcome back to Minute on the Mountain. We are doing another product review tonight. This is for the Odepro Zoomable Long Range Flashlight. This is marketed as a hunting flashlight. Now here in Utah, you can't use any nighttime light to hunt game that I'm aware of, and I don't think you're allowed to use it for predators either. I'm going to do a little research about the predator side of it, and I'll confirm at the end of this video, but I don't believe you can use light for anything in Utah, whether it be predator or game animals. But anyway, this is the box that it comes in, and so I'm just going to open it up for you guys here on camera and let you see everything that's included. And I'll go through all this in more detail after I get out the instructions, because I haven't looked at it. So yeah, I know that it's got different colors, different LEDs. This is the infrared. This is the green, and this is the white. So that means I'm assuming the red is already on it, because red is also one of the options. Looks like we've got batteries here. Guessing that's trigger. That's got a switch in it to turn it on. Here's the light itself. Oops, put it in backwards. Charger for the batteries. Got the warranty and guidebook information here, which I'll definitely have to read because I've never used a product like this. It's got extra O-rings. And let's see what we have in here, gang. Also, this is going to be the mount. And then I believe these are more mounting rings. Yep. So it's got a little hex key in there, and then mounting rings so you can mount this on a rail. So I will get this set up on a rifle. I'm just going to put it, I believe, on my 22 and take it out and do some target shooting at night. The green light supposedly goes 450 yards. I'm not going to test it out that far. I'll probably put a target up at like 150, 150, 100, and then 50. And try and video as best I can. I don't really have the greatest camera equipment to show something that far out, but what I think I'll do is put a camera right up on the target and then a camera back where I'm shooting, and you guys will be able to see how well it illuminates the target. So that's the next thing we'll do once we get her all set up. Had the batteries in the charger for about 3 hours. They are fully charged now. I honestly don't know how long it took them to fully charge. At the most, it was 3 hours. I didn't come back and check periodically. I've got a battery in. I took the tail cap off. So this is if you're not using the remote. Here's your on and off switch. And then I swapped out the red LED that was in there when it came in the box to the green, just to show you guys what it looks like. And then also I have gone ahead and put on the remote control switch. So you can see there's the green. Now the way that you change it from flood to spot is by twisting the tail cap. If I twist it counterclockwise, it makes it more narrow, more focused beam. And then if I twist it clockwise, then you'll see that makes more of a flood. And again, I'll give you a fuller test when we can get it out. So for the remote control, you just simply hold this down, and that's on. And then when you release the pressure, it's off. To change the LED colors, you start by taking the head off. So you unscrew the head. And then you screw this tail cap clockwise. And as you screw the tail cap clockwise, you'll see it's forcing out the LED. And I just unscrew that. And let's go ahead and swap it out just for the white. I'm going to put the white in here. And you'll notice once I start getting this in, it's going to push this tail cap. It'll actually start pushing it down a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see that. See how the tail cap's coming out as I continue to spin it. And then you can grab it by that tail cap. Now we can put the head back on. Oh, got it cross-threaded a little bit. There we go. Okay, that's snug. So now we have the white in. So you guys can see that. There's the white. So I'm not going to put the other colors in, but you guys get a feel for how it works now. And again, I've never used one of these. I have never put a flashlight on a rifle before, so it's pretty self-explanatory. If I can figure it out, anybody can figure it out. And again, I'll just show you this in a little more detail now. This is if you already have a scope on your rifle. So you put this bottom piece on the scope, put your flashlight on the top, and then you can mount it. It's kind of, they call it a universal mount, universal adapter. And then if you don't have a scope on your rifle, but you've got rails, then you can attach this ring just like you would a scope ring. So I will, I'm planning to put this on my little 22 for the test, which does not have a scope, so we use this. And we'll get it out in a day or two in the nighttime and shoot at some targets. Again, I think I want to do one at 150, one at 100, and one at 50, and we'll put this thing to the test and see how it works. I'll try not to blind you guys. Obviously, you can't see anything. I've got the target. First shot's going to be at 100 yards, and we're going to flip this flashlight on this scope and see if we can hit it. All right, moved it back to 150. Let's see what happens at 150. So I know it's hard to tell, guys. I don't know of a better way to set this up. I put my other camera by the target, but that beam right now is 180 yards. And I can see up there as clear as day. I'm gonna move the gun around, see if I can get you another yardage. I already put my rangefinder up, so I admit I'm guessing just a little bit now. I wasn't guessing before, but I'm guessing a little bit now. That's gotta be, because I've shot up here before, that's got to be 250, and I can see through the scope. I would have no problem shooting that shot right at 250 yards. It says the green light goes 450. I don't really have a place here to try and go at 450, but again at 250 I'd have no problem seeing my target and taking an ethical shot at 250. Forgive the noise, everyone. I'm down in my office, which we also have recently put the freeze dryer down here. I just wanted you to see what that flashlight looked like mounted. I ended up putting this on my 270. I was going to put it on my 22, but to be honest with you, my 22 didn't have a rail on it, which I didn't know. I've never tried to mount anything on my 22. So I'm definitely going to want to go get a rail for that in case I do want to put that little flashlight on it in the future or put a scope on it. But anyway, so I put it on the 270. And I'll go upstairs and kind of do the more full review. We had a ton of camera issues when I was trying to film that last night. I'll talk through that and give you my overall thoughts. Okay guys, we're out on the back deck. As you can see, it's dark out here. And we're going to test the red beam here for a second. So that's out to our swing set, which is, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 yards in the back of the yard. Probably 20, 25. Same with our shed there. I'm going to make this more focused and see if we can get more distance. So give me just a second. I'm going to turn the GoPro off. I'll turn it back on. All right, and lastly, I've got the white light. Again, that's a swing set, which you can't see in the GoPro, but I can see it just fine. And then if I do the fence line, it doesn't show up quite as good as the red. Let me see if I can focus this beam a little more. Okay, that made a huge difference. I got the beam focused, and oh yeah, I can easily see the end of the fence line and beyond. So again, that end of that fence line is 170 yards out there, and I can see that plain as day. It won't show up on the GoPro, but trust me on it. There's the strobe function. Oh my goodness, that'd give you a headache. I got the dogs going. Well, let me wrap this up by giving you my final thoughts on the Odepro KL52 Plus hunting flashlight, zoomable. I've never used anything like this. I know for a lot of you guys who maybe done predator hunting in states where they allow lights, you've used this kind of equipment all the time. I never have. I was amazed. I could not believe how clearly I could see the target through the scope at 250 yards away. Again, the box says that for the green light, it goes out to 450, the white light 400, the red 375. And then it also has an infrared as well, which obviously you can't see with your naked eye. You have to have a device to be able to see the infrared. But a lot happened when I was testing it last night. It was cold, and so my GoPro batteries died pretty quickly. So I took some additional, or I used the scope at some additional distances that you guys didn't get to see footage for. Originally, I was going to set it up for 50. 100 and 150, I think is what I had said, but I thought it didn't really make a lot of sense to do one at 50 yards. If you're using this type of product, you're probably not shooting anything at 50 yards. You're not gonna get that close. So instead, I did 100, 150, and 200. Those are the three shots, the three ranges that I took a shot at, and you guys just saw that on the video. I was on paper with all three. That target was an 8-inch target, just so you know. It's not a full-size sighting in target, so my shots weren't as bad as they maybe looked originally. Anyway, so those are the three shots that I took. I then showed you a clip where I had the light shining up on the mountainside, and I was looking through my scope, and that was at about 250 yards. I can't say it was exactly 250. I can tell you I've shot my rifle in that same area many, many times. I've set targets up on that hillside, and so it was pretty close to 250. I then drove the truck a little bit further up the road with my daughter where we could find a spot where I could go out to 300 and even 400 yards, or at least what I assume to be about 400. And I would be comfortable taking any of those shots. So I can say confidently with the green light that you could be out 400 yards and you can put that bullet on target. So I was super impressed with that. I used the white light just as a flashlight, just to scope around. And again, very impressed with the field of view, with how far I could see clearly on the white light. I didn't try the infrared because I don't have a device to do it. I briefly put the red light in here just around the house. I didn't really use it outside. Again, just the temps got too cold and I wasn't able to film anything last night anyway, after about 20 minutes. I didn't think to put the windscreen on my GoPro. You know, if you put the windscreen on, it insulates it from the cold and your battery life goes a lot longer, and I just didn't think to do that. So, for those of you that predator hunt in a place where you're allowed to use a light, I think it'd be a fantastic purchase. Again, I was very impressed with it. It was intuitive on how to put everything together, because I've never done that. I thought it was fantastic. The price on it, I've seen it on Amazon from $112.98 on the low end up to $124.98. It looks like it normally sells for $124, but there was a 10% discount code. I will have a link in the description to where you can go and purchase this on Amazon if you're interested. And there will also be a discount code in the description as well that should give you a little bit more of a discount for being a subscriber to the channel. So I'll put both those in the description. I only have maybe two, I guess, somewhat negative comments, and even they're not a big deal. Number one, if you're not using the remote control, if you're not using the pressure sensor, turning the flashlight off and on with the thumb switch is not as simple as just turning it off and turn it on. It's not just one click on and one click off. They do give you instructions in the little instruction booklet on how to turn it on and how to turn on the strobe, etc. But just be aware it's not just a simple one click. And then the other thing is, if you do have the tail end with the pressure switch mounted, when you go to change it from beam, you know, like a focus beam, to a more of a flood, the little remote control cord that leads to your pressure switch can kind of twist on itself. I found that just to be a hair cumbersome. Again, it's not a very big deal, but I want to give you as honest and as thorough of a review as I can. So, last look at the box. Again, that is the Odepro KL52 Plus. Check it out. I'll put a link in the description. I'm going to go ahead and put this stuff away, and then we'll wrap this video up with the Minute on the Mountain. All right, last but not least, guys, the Minute on the Mountain and the channel shout out. The channel that I want to shout out is my good friend Dominic Minischetti down in Florida. I was on a little hike today, some snowshoeing, and I tried a new mountain house meal, and there's going to be a separate video on this, but man, it sure could have used some additional salt and pepper. And Dominic, a year or two ago, sent me a waxed canvas bag with a little spice kit in it, but I keep that in my big camping tote. I don't have it in my day pack, and I was wishing today I sure had it. But he does a lot of Fired Up Friday videos. He does a lot of just craftsman videos where he makes things, including those waxed canvas bags. Just a super good guy. So I'll put a link in the description. Check out his channel when you get a chance. The Minute on the Mountain comes from Proverbs chapter 9. Proverbs is kind of like the Psalms. It's just so hard to pick out just one little passage. There's so much good stuff in it. But I settled on Proverbs 9:9. Instruct the wise, and they will be wiser still. Teach the righteous, and they will add to their learning. You know, one of the characteristics of a wise person is you recognize there's so much more you can still learn. And you recognize there's a lot that you don't know. And so I love this. It says, instruct the wise, and they will become wiser still. Teach the righteous, and they will add to their learning. And I just know for me, guys, there have been seasons in my life where I haven't really been open to learning a lot of new things in certain areas of my life, at least. And so this is a good reminder to me that I should always be aware of what I don't know, and I should always be looking for opportunities to learn more and become wise. And then wisdom is not just knowledge. The very next verse, in verse 10, is the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. You can be smart and not know the Lord. You can be knowledgeable and not have a relationship with Jesus Christ. But to be truly wise, you have to fear the Lord, because it says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So without the fear of the Lord, you're not truly wise. Anyway, that's the Minute on the Mountain today, Proverbs 9, 9, and 10. Thanks so much, guys, for all the support. I hope you enjoyed the review. I'm looking forward to getting some more gear reviews out. I've got 2 more that I'm working on. Companies have been kind enough to send me some of their products, and so hopefully I'm doing a decent job letting you guys know what my honest opinion is on them. It'll give you some insight as to whether or not it'd be a good fit for you. God bless you guys. We'll see you the next time right on the mountain.